Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are going to be making some Szechuan tofu and veggies, which is a vegan recipe, and we'll also be making some cauliflower tempura. Let's get started. Okay, so the first step of the recipe is the tofu. Okay, so we're gonna take this out of the packaging. Okay, there's a lot of water in there, so I'm gonna drain this out. We're gonna take this out of the packaging and then cut it up into cubes. And also pat dry, because as you saw, there's a bunch of water in there. So this is tofu. We're gonna pat it dry. Big old blob. And we're gonna cut them up into cubes. Now I'm going to just put the tofu in a bowl to the side, and I'm going to cut up all the veggies that's gonna go into this little stir fry. So I'm just placing them all in this bowl. Chopping up the pepper. So I'll be cutting the pepper up into tiny pieces like this. I'm gonna wash this now. I'm gonna chop up this whole onion. Funny how the rest won't come in. Funny how you back for loving. Thinly sliced. Leave a mustn't leave. Overdose of empathy. My pops and me. More screenshots of me. The streets are free. Go ahead and take from me. Break a mirror if I would feel kicking the highest. I never chopped onion this much before. It really does make you cry. I can't see. Okay, not gonna lie. Those onions really made me cry. This never happened to me before. Now I'm gonna cut up some cabbage. Do the same thing that I've been doing with the pepper and the onion. Knowing that you're gone in your own. Yeah, running, gunning. The next ingredient was asparagus or green beans, but I got both, so that's what we'll be eating both. And the red pepper was supposed to be half the red pepper. Oh, I forgot it's in the onion. It's supposed to be half the red pepper, but I did the whole thing. But yeah, it's half the red pepper, not the whole red pepper. I'm gonna chop up the green beans. And I'll be providing the recipe link as usual in the description below. I don't know if you gotta cut it, but I'm gonna just cut it because it feels like it shouldn't be that long, right? I don't know. Let's just use all my bowls today. So we're going to put the chopped up veggies to the side. So that's the tofu. We're also gonna need a cup of shredded carrots. So I bought these, so I don't gotta chop up the carrots. Cup of this. And now that we have all the veggies cut up and put to the side, we're gonna work on making the sauce for this. Okay, so for the Szechuan sauce, we need peppercorns. They're really Szechuan peppercorns, but I couldn't find that at the supermarket, so they said we can use black peppercorns. We also need the soy sauce. Here's the soy sauce. We also need honey, so I have some honey here. Sesame oil. Some rice wine vinegar. Yeah, rice vinegar. Some garlic. So I got, this is ginger. So you need ginger, and they said that the ginger paste is good to use, so I got that. But I picked up garlic. Like, I was actually gonna use actual garlic this time, but then I put it back down because I was like, oh, I already got the paste. But this is ginger, not the garlic. They're two different things. Okay, since I left the garlic, I guess I'm gonna have to use some garlic powder again. I hope it still comes out good. So we got the garlic powder, chili flakes, and I bought some, these aren't chili, but I bought red pepper. So I think I might throw this in there. But then the chili is probably in the chili garlic anyway. And then also we'll need Chinese 5 spice. So I bought this. And that's it. let's make the sauce. So first we're going to toast the peppercorn, a tablespoon of it. We're gonna toast it on the pan. It says medium. This is what they look like. Yes. That's it. Okay. That's gonna stay on the pan for about a minute or two, and while that is getting toasted up, I'm going to begin putting all the ingredients that I just mentioned into a bowl and mix it all up. First, we're going to use the soy sauce, and it's going to be 1/4 cup of that. And the peppercorn was only supposed to toast for a minute or two, and then it says crush. So I'm just gonna, I guess, crush it. Do I crush it here? I don't know where I crush it. Okay, maybe not. I think I'll crush it somewhere else. So I have the 1/4 cup of soy sauce, 3 tablespoons of honey, I'm also going to turn off the stove now, and then I'll just crush this now. So now I'm trying to crush these peppercorns. Oh look, okay, look, okay, I'm doing it. I am almost done. Got one more. Okay, there. Throw back to another video I put on my other YouTube channel. I was just such a weirdo, but it's okay. So we have our crushed peppercorn, which we'll be throwing into the little concoction I started making. I think I'll be putting this in there in a second, we'll see. So I'll put this to the side. Okay, so far I have the soy sauce and the honey in here. Now we're going to put a tablespoon of sesame oil. That's this right here. So a tablespoon of the sesame oil. 3 garlic cloves. Okay, now I'm gonna use the garlic powder. I'm so sorry. I really wanted to use actual garlic this time, but it was about a tablespoon, so I'm gonna put this in here. It's falling, but it's falling in the bowl. Okay, 1. Yeah, I think I'll just do 2. It says 3 garlic cloves. I think, yeah. It's not the whole tablespoon, by the way. It's just some. That looks like the size of a garlic clove. Fuck it, I'm gonna just put a little more. These aren't even tablespoons of garlic powder. These are, let's be accurate, it's about a teaspoon of garlic powder, if anybody was wondering. 2 teaspoons of this thing. Ooh, that came out fast. 1, 2. Half a teaspoon of the Chinese 5 spice. Okay, half a teaspoon, just this. And then cornstarch, 2 to 3 teaspoons of cornstarch is optional. I don't have cornstarch, so I won't be using that. I'm also gonna toss in the peppercorn that I crushed a little bit earlier. And then now I'm gonna mix this in. I'm gonna mix this in until it's well mixed. Now I'm going to cook and season the tofu. Putting on the heat, adding oil. Ooh, that might have been a lot of oil, but it's okay. And then it says to season the oil with it, so I will just do what it tells me to do. So salt, pepper, and then swirl it around. And then we're gonna toss in the tofu. Okay, so now I'm gonna throw the tofu in here. I don't know how fragile, well, I mean, I guess I got the extra firm one. So we're going to cook it on at least 2 sides. We're gonna cook them until they're crispy and golden. So I'm gonna turn the heat up a little bit and turned it down after the little tofu water fiasco. While the tofu is cooking, I actually forgot to add the rice vinegar into the sauce. So the rice vinegar, we need a tablespoon of this. Recipe said that to be patient with the tofu, so I guess tofu takes a long time to cook. Okay, they're starting to look a little golden, not crispy yet, but a little golden. I'm going to put this tofu that should be done now to this bowl again. Okay, so now I have the cauliflower boiling for 2 minutes. Hey Google, can you set the timer for 2 minutes?
2 minutes, and that's starting now.
And now, in the same pan that I cooked the tofu, I'm going to add a little bit more oil to get to cooking the rest of the veggies. So I'm going to toss in there the onions for 3 minutes. A lot of onions. I think that's good. We're also going to add this chili garlic sauce, as I mentioned, in the concoction too. So we're gonna mix this up again. And now the Szechuan sauce should be ready to use when we put it all together in the pan. The cauliflower is done boiling now, so I'm going to turn this off. And this looks tender, so I'm gonna start throwing in the other veggies in here. Okay, so now I'm going to start throwing in the other veggies that I cut up earlier. So I'll throw in the peppers, and we're going to stir it while it's cooking, and it'll be cooking for, the recipe says, about 3 minutes. Carrots, the asparagus, this is a lot, and the green beans. It'll tender up, so I think there'll be more room in here. I'll just toss it along here. This isn't working. So I'm finishing up throwing all this into this bigger pot. Got the cabbage. And while this cooks, I'm going to drain now the cauliflower using the usual bits. Okay, so the veggies look like it's ready to add the sauce in there. It smells so good, to be honest. And then we'll also toss in the tofu in a second. Guys, I actually changed my mind. I will not be making the cauliflower puff today because I just don't feel like it so much. So for the cauliflower, I'll do it in my next video. We need the flour, 2 eggs, 2 tablespoons of oil, and then vegetable oil because we're going to be deep frying them. I guess they're healthy because it's a vegetable, but it's not as healthy because you're deep frying it anyway. But yeah, I'll be making this on my next video, so stay tuned. I'm gonna just eat that cauliflower with this. I'm gonna do that right now. Look, cauliflower that I boiled, I'm gonna just toss it in here. I'm sure I could do that. I'm sure I could do that. They're vegetables. And I'm gonna also toss in the tofu and then mix it all up. I'm excited, but I just got lazy. I didn't feel like making the batter for the cauliflower, so yeah, that's a next time thing. So this is how it's looking. I just threw that cauliflower in there like you saw. The sauce isn't as thick as I expected it to be. Maybe I had to make more, but it still smells great and I'm ready to serve it. Now let's try what we made. I'm gonna serve myself. And then for garnish, I just chopped up some scallions, which I also learned is the same thing. I learned this recently. It's the same thing as green pepper. Then I also have some toasted sesame seeds that I just bought to top it off. Sprinkle that on top. And I got some crushed red peppers. Even though I'm not a huge fan of spicy, but let's see how it goes. And this is the final product. It looks pretty good. I'm excited to try it. First I'm gonna grab a bite of this tofu. Got it, tofu and a piece of onion. Why it kind of tastes like chicken? Wow, I guess being vegan isn't that hard. This is your chicken. Another piece of tofu. Okay. But after rating it, definitely not a 10. I think the sauce has to be thicker, so I'm gonna try this again next time for some thicker sauce. Gotta figure out what I did wrong. But it's pretty good. I'm gonna give it an 8. It is better than the pasta with the sauce and everything, of course. That's what gives it the flavor. So yeah, an 8. It's pretty good. Okay, I might have gassed it a little bit by saying that the tofu tasted like chicken, but it just tastes good. It don't taste like chicken though. So it looks like on the inside. No, wait. Nah, because it does kind of taste like chicken actually. I thought I gassed it for a second. Like, what? I have chicken tenders. Nah, it doesn't taste like chicken, but it's still good. I think I will use tofu more often. So yeah, I'm gonna make the cauliflower puffs tempura next video. I'm sure they'll be great, but I got lazy. It's okay to be lazy sometimes. You can also make some rice. That'll be a good side. You can also replace the tofu with actual chicken, with shrimp, or whatever you want. But this should really be good with some rice right now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and don't forget to comment. See you next time. Oh, hey. I meant to do this.